So last time, you guys uh, went around a bunch of the northern swamp area. After clearing out the uh, ruined fort on the coastline, which did not match the coastline on the map of Veshoff that you obtained. Um, and continued uncovering new land and everything uh, until you came across a stone that seemed to have a location painted on it. Now you've brought that back to Orvis with you. At this time, the people who have volunteered to go off to Vragen to the north have left Orvis. They're on their way back to the Cradian Empire proper, going to collect some resources, set up supply routes on the northern half of the country, and break their way into the Redshift zone from there. They're expecting maybe in about 2-3 months, they'll have something to show for that. So a bunch of the people who made up the forces of the commission have gone ahead and done that, and the brigadier has also received permission for to assign Van as the sub-leader up there, and he's been given permission to go into the Empire and recruit people and stuff for this this side of the quest as things are getting bigger and bigger. So when you actually get back to Orvis, you find that well, you're able to give your report of what you found, what you did. So I assume you report back to the brigadier first, but that's up to you guys.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
where
that's
I
what
go.
I would-
That's where I go.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess what do you tell her? What do you show her first?
Well, events in order. First, I would explain that we cleared out the fort, and there was a slad in there, some giant toad demon that was apparently trying to make minions out of the wildlife. We killed it, and we killed the infested creatures that it had slain in the area. It looks like it won't be too terribly difficult to clean out. I can help with that if it's needed to kind of pressure scrub everything. Most of it should just kind of wash out to the ocean, but there's one room that's going to need some intense scrubbing, I would think. Otherwise, it seems like it's in good condition, relatively speaking, to be able to retrofit into some sort of a fort and dock. I used the tool that was sent to provide some measurements, and those dropped off with somebody to bring to...
Nami will be pleased with those.
That's right. Nami was the one who asked for it.
They were considering heading out there at next break of the Redshift to see what they need. We won't be able to get an obelisk up there until the week after that, I imagine, as Dex is still up at the temple right now. He's taking care of his new obelisk, but he has finished it. If you'd like to get in touch with him via the communication device, you're welcome to. He's got it all set up.
Can the temple communicate with that device?
Uh, I'm told it's a slightly complex situation. You may want to check with him about that.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Uh, so I think what we'll do is we should have the resources to send Dex out uh, as soon as he gets back here um, to create an additional obelisk on the shoreline. And then we can start heading out to sea shortly if we think that will help us move faster. Um, in the meantime, have you found anything else?
Yeah, we went further to the northeast, and we not only uncovered some more of the map, but while we were out there, and we even found grass. And when we got to the grass, we kind of looked up and around and managed to see part of the mountain range on that old map we got. So that's quite hopeful. That kind of getting our bearings a little bit better here is starting to bring a little resolution to where we're at and where things have changed since
Oh yeah,
the
that's
first
right.
map.
Let me make sure we can go over here and see that because you guys did get uh,
I'll cover it while the map glitches out. There
any
we go.
thanks. Yeah, so I went ahead and revealed basically like what you could see from that point. Um, so essentially, yeah, what you're looking at is that some of those mountain peaks, and you can sort of out of the out of the maps that your guild has basically been slowly compiling over time that roughly resembles what you see on screen here. Um, you can sort of like mark off where that expected area is and kind of start thinking about how long it would take to hike over there and what you might find.
Yeah. So that's definitely a sort of hopeful sort of thing for the future. Plus, getting to the point where we can kind of get beyond the swamp and kind of start using more regular means now that we've got more horses and such available.
Yes, that is excellent news. She said, "I would hope we could find a suitable place for an obelisk outside the swamp, so then we can move and make easier travel." But
Uh,
uh,
I would recommend sending scouts north from the House of Worship. There's a decent chance that it actually cuts to the grass fairly quickly, or that a path could be made that is reasonably traversable.
yeah, I think that's likely our best bet.
We still do have a small chunk of unexplored territory
Yes, and now
in the swamp.
now that we have an obelisk set up at the northern spot as well, that should be easier for our scouts to cover and see if they uncover anything of note out there.
I don't suppose the lizards want to allocate their numbers up in that way, and they kind of want to stay as a close knit family near Thesbridge, right?
I can ask Maisie. She seems to think they're quite accommodating.
Okay. Who knows? They might like some of the flora up there a little bit better.
I know they've been invaluable in you all getting around. So
Certainly.
I'm I'm sure with a bit of food, we can lure them wherever we need them to go.
Fantastic. So that definitely seems like we're making a lot of progress in the swamp here, and obviously starting to find our way past it. Just a little bit north, a few miles north of where we found the tree with the piano melted in it, roughly speaking. We found this stone that was kind of pulsing on the ground, and after it was uncovered,
Yeah, so it's not pulsing anymore.
yeah, it's not pulsing anymore. But when we first discovered it, it seemed like it wanted to be discovered. This stone, it seems like it might coordinate with some other location. Like this is some sort of a tracking device. What we're not.
So she looks at it, she reads it, she reads off the numbers, and she says, "You think that's a location then?"
Yes. It would be a matter of trying to find a map that would use whatever the coordinates that Vesoth would have used, and trying to base it on that. Which I would hope that the Gradian historians have something about that at this point.
Well, and Nimbus has gone ahead and done an investigation check on this item, and
he's
was able to determine. Yeah, he was able to determine that this stone is tracking something else.
It is definitely. While it hasn't updated since we got it, it does seem to be for certain tracking something. Now, the thing that is of obvious concern is the thing that it's tracking a paired tracker that is now sharing our location to somebody else.
Right.
Well.
Right. We don't know if it's a one-way communication or two-way communication. We don't know what it's tracking.
And you found it.
It was semi-buried. It was semi-buried just in a field.
Well, a swamp, but yeah.
We had kind of hit the.
Let me take a look at this. She turns it over in her hand, and hang on, I gotta scroll up to get the actual digits. There we go. So
it was 45 6303 12 5661.
She says, "Well, if we are basing this on a globe, then I think we should be able to figure out where Orvis is in comparison to that. I believe Dex may have had something written down about this. I think that would be something worthy to ask him about."
Certainly.
She gets up from her desk. Shall we?
Yes, that's a great idea.
All right. So she'll lead you out of the house on the Orvis dais that she's taken as her current office, and across the road to the obelisk in the center, where the dry fountain has been kind of hammered down and made a place for the two jeweled obelisk instead. And she puts her hand on the communication device, and the thing which is designed to sort of read your intent as you activate it, and she says out loud, Dex, can you hear me? And a moment later, there is kind of projected in front of the obelisk, sort of a like the size of something you'd have as a bathroom mirror, a portal that is visually, it's a little fuzzy, especially around the edges. The sort of uh, coherency of it starts to degrade. But as you get closer to the center, it's kind of just like looking through a glass window or a mesh screen, and you see Dex hunched over a little bit. He has most of his face is in view. The top half going out of the portal due to his height. He says, "Oh, hi everyone."
Hey, we had a decent time going around and clearing some stuff.
Good to hear. Glad to see you all back safe.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to see that you've had success setting up the obelisk up there.
Oh yes, this is a very good campsite. I had an enlightening conversation with the he looks like up and around gentleman who lives here.
Yes, tell them we send our greetings.
I will do that. He seems to sleep a lot. I think it might be because of the state of the building. It's sort of hard for him to be in a healthy state, I suppose would be the way I'd put it.
Well, that'll come with some time. I guess when we get a chance, we should try to hash out an estimate for the cost of repairs, and I can see what I can do to help offset the cost.
Yes, I think that would be a good idea. It seems well, and anything that'll help us help out somebody in need, and as well as get us a potential ally here in the zone.
Certainly, nothing like a good temple of pantheon of gods that aren't terrible.
Yeah, that is nice to see after the last one.
Or the Demon Underground, or all the other fun stuff that we've seen. And I don't mean the slad that we encountered. By the way, there was a slad in that fort. It was trying to make little spawnlings, and well, we're feeling pretty good, but that's because we had Montlarin with us to help with any ailments that such a nasty creature
and,
might inflict.
You made sure it's quite dead?
Oh, it's quite dead.
Excellent. Okay. I wonder how such a thing would have got here. I suppose it could have just wandered in.
Been created by the Redshift. Some former demon devil worshippers summoned it, and it just never went away. Any number of possibilities. In fact, that last one is kind of the more probable, considering what we've seen. Salmus down there.
That's true. Hopefully that would be the last of that, then.
Certainly hope so. Certainly hope that expanse we haven't studied under the estate isn't just teeming with them.
Yay.
Sorry, where are you talking about?
Oh, it was the not Keep Ignis, not Keep Silex, the estate near Keep Silex.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the very deep um,
Yeah, one day we'll have to
caverns.
investigate it, but I don't know, not until we've got some spider mounts that can walk on the walls for us.
For sure.
That would be nice.
That would be, or something else useful. I don't know. We'll find a way should it be necessary.
Well, he says, I am planning on making the trip back. I noticed the first wave a couple days ago, so I'm staying put with the rest of the team here.
That's a wise idea.
We'll be coming back to Orbis very soon. And we've set up a few permanent tents, a little bit of a starter facility here. So if you're planning on stopping up this way, you should have some small comforts out here. And
Wonderful. Oh, so the main reason why we actually reached out, we found this stone.
oh, right.
It's quite interesting.
Do you hold it? Do you like show it to him through the portal? Okay.
So it was kind of pulsing as a sort of beacon to get our attention.
Squints at it to read the text.
It's got coordinates on it. We found it over at the just a few miles relatively north of where we found that tree with the melted piano in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those look like coordinates to me.
So at this point, I'm pretty damn sure that this is tracking the coordinates of some object or location.
Now, you did identify on it, so you're 100% sure.
Now, the thing that I'm not sure of, though, is if it may be tracked by its counterpart, if the perhaps pair to this stone is giving our location.
Well, I can't say it's a common magic item. I would guess whoever made this probably made it for their own purposes. Not something that would be mass produced in any way. Probably would be a good idea to go find out, I suppose.
Yeah. If you recall anything, or if we're able to find anything about an item such as this, and what other things it might be paired or tied with, that would be useful to know. But for right now, I'm just
well. If you're telling me it's a location finding device, the best you could really do is go to the location.
That's true.
You did cast the spell to identify its features. Yes. Did that tell you anything else?
Not much else.
DM answer for that is not really.
Yeah, that was about all I could discern from it. That said, if we can actually find a map with reliable coordinates that would have been contemporary to when this stone was made, it might help us locate what it is tracking so that we can attempt to locate it and see what's going on with it.
Let me see. I might have something you can use. The significant digits on that are a little more than I'm used to using. But if they match up with real life, then third chest from the top in my office, second book from the bottom in there. I should have a document I've been working on that has some coordinates of our major locations listed in them. I was
Wonderful.
putting it together as a side project.
Well, if
I don't remember them off the top of my head, but from what I can remember, that doesn't seem like it's too far away from Orvis.
Well, not
That's pretty amazing.
right this moment, because I'm sure once we're done here, you'll have some things to do. But during the downtime, we'll have plenty of time to kind of talk this over and kind of look through the portal at it here, as it were, to see, kind of look at it together. We can try to piece the details together.
Fair enough. Feel free to call me anytime. I've got card games and little else up here, so for the next week.
That makes sense. All right. Was there anything else that you wanted to let us know about, or any other questions that you might have had about our progress and our travels?
I think I'll catch up with you when I get back. Everything seems to be in order here and down there with you all. So, yeah. If you find that book of mine, I'd be happy to look at it with you.
Certainly. I'll definitely. You said the third chest, the second book from the bottom on the left?
Something like that, yes.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be able to find it. All right. Well, have a good rest up there.
When you let go of the obelisk, the image just kind of shifts out of existence.
All right. Well, that'll be an interesting sort of task to map out. I should probably be able to recruit Elvistaver to help me out with this if he's around. Him being a cartographer.
He should be somewhere around here, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be quite interested in this.
So yeah, this would be the start of our downtime. So you guys have, I think it's going to be, let me double check. It took you a couple days to get back after the first wave. So we will say you have 6 days of downtime.
Okie dokie.
So what would everybody like to do during their 6 days of downtime at Orvis?
Does any wizard at Orvis have Tiny Hut by any chance?
Let me check. Dex does not have Tiny Hut. He'd have his spell book with him anyway, but he does not have that spell available. Right. And then aside from him, currently you're the only wizard here.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Only like air quotes traditional wizard.
Wizard. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the more expensive approach would be having someone actually make a scroll that I can read and copy it that way. But I think wizards are the only ones who have Tiny Hut available. So
possibly
that wouldn't even work out anyway.
Tiny hut.
Did Ksenia go to the other location, to the north?
I am considering any of our retired / inactive players to be up at the other location, barring their contributions to revisit the game.
Sounds good.
Just to keep things simple, so we're not running over their characters.
Right.
Is
Sounds
the
good.
northern location where they have gone, quote unquote, even on this map?
It is on this map. It is here. If you zoom all the way out, you'll be able to see it. It's somewhere around here. So, probably in a couple of months, once the
I don't know where here is. It took a
here
while.
I'll ping it again.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So probably in a couple of months, once Team Van gets situated there, and you can actually talk to him again, I'll give you guys a little bit of reveal in that area.
Sounds good. Well, that being the case, I don't actually need a second wizard. I need any scroll making spellcaster to basically assist me. The higher the Arcana and Persuasion, the better. But I guess we could group those rolls in average or whatever if we need to. But I'm basically just looking to get 2 level 3 scrolls made this week. I can only make 1 because it's a 5-day job.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Montlar and Anaya can both make scrolls. So if you guys want to take 5 of your days to make a scroll,
Happy to.
feel free.
All right.
You can. Oh wait. Actually, Montlarn doesn't have 3rd level spells.
Nope.
Yep, that's true.
You can only do whatever your what you have to know and prepare the spell, basically.
You could still do a level 1 spell.
You can do level 1s. You have level 2s, right?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
only have enough to cover. I've got less than 1250. Wait, do I, or do I have at least 1250? Let me double check on that.
I see.
I might have just enough after last payout. 1239. So almost enough. I mean, if you wanted to throw
Have
a
some.
coin in, we can cover that and recuperate as much as we can out of that. And I'm mostly just looking to get the cost of materials back on those, and then for the one I make, I'll pocket the profit and put however much towards the fort, and the other ones, I suppose, you'll figure out what you'll do with the rest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to pitch in if we're short. What go ahead, sir.
Oh no, it was basically it'd just be like anybody who wants to throw in like an extra 6 gold or 6 marks. That would be
easy.
That would be enough to get the resources to make 2 level 3s and 1 level 2, which would
1 level 2. Yeah.
occupy
Okay. So
5
then,
days.
basically, all 3 of you would have to work on that.
Yep.
Right.
Is that something Naya would be interested in doing? Naya?
I think she could help out.
Cool.
Yeah. So Naya, you've got you have level 3 spells, right?
Let me look.
Yeah, if
I
you're
think so.
pure spellcaster, then you would have 3s by this point.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of them, but I do have level
Yeah.
3.
So you'd be able to take any of the ones that you have prepared, and you'd be able to use that cost to write them down into a spell scroll of whatever sort of method of your choosing, and they're in the OneNote, but I'll go ahead and paste their rules in image form because OneNote's super cool for you right there. So those are the costs and everything. So yeah, like Nimbus said, if you guys spend the 5 days for a level 3 spell, you'd be able to do one of those. It costs 500, and then Montlarin can do.
Who the hell has 500 gold pieces?
I've got them.
The wizard.
I've got 1239. I've been crafting scrolls. That's been, I've been trying to earn some money so we can get these forts built up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Just so you know, I don't think you guys are getting to crafting 9 level scrolls. Just for the record.
I mean, that would be impressive.
I mean, resource things being scalable, but probably not.
Yeah. Does it matter which spell?
I would like to know what spells you guys want to craft, just so I know what your characters think is useful and how it's going to be used in the world.
As much as I would normally make let's see. Give me just a second to look at something here. No, that's only to copy them into my spellbook. Then, more likely than not, it would be Phantom Steed. I think with Identify and Gentle Repose and Phantom Steed, it's more of one of those like logistical planning. Like these are things that royalty and aristocracy.
That's definitely something you'd be able to find a buyer for far easier than Fireball.
Yeah, and versus Fireball is definitely like. A certain person with a certain sort of intent, and they've only got one.
Yeah, unless you are sending Fireball to Albus Taver's boss, they might buy Fireball.
I'm not going on a might. If we want to set up a trade route and they want to do something, we can do that. Otherwise, I think Phantom Steed is going to be the higher price sort of thing. I mean, birthday parties, oh, I want a pony. Okay, well, you can have a magic pony for an hour. Etc.
Can you make it look like a unicorn? Let's see. Quasi-real horse-like. You decide the creature's appearance, so yeah, it could look like a unicorn.
Yeah,
it's
I suppose it could.
Horse-like technically just means it has 4 hooves and they're all on the ground at the same time. After that, who knows?
Yeah, I suppose it doesn't say anything about illusory forms that would be, intimidating or imposing in one way or another. That's probably more where like minor illusion takes over.
Right.
But, I guess just being crafty with your imagination, you can make something interesting.
All right, so we'll go with that for Nimbus. So that'll be 5 days of work. Naya, what spell would you like to craft? So if you're going for a 3rd level, that's again 1 for 5 days.
I guess I'm not real clear on. Is this to peddle?
Yeah.
To sell to somebody else?
So the idea is basically that you guys are shipping these back off to the Empire or wherever through whatever trade routes you have, and so whether it goes to somebody in the Holy Cranian Empire or somewhere else is not super relevant. And basically, it's like if you can produce a useful scroll-like item, something that can be consumed one time. So a traditional scroll, you read off of it, the spell is cast, and then the scroll either goes blank or disintegrates in your hands. Wizards can take scrolls and copy the spells down into them, but only if it's a wizard spell. So I think probably most druid spells would be viable for that, but not all of them.
Yeah, I could see some of them being
You could do like a
more useful or more interesting than others.
You could do it as like a carved stick that you like snap in half, and that activates the spell, or like a delicate sort of lattice stone that you crush in your hand, and that activates it, or something like this. It can kind of whatever makes sense for Naya to build this thing into. Is pretty reasonable, and just the cost of it represents the resources that you'd spend, which are expensive because you're using like magic resources and stuff. But that's all together. That's like inks and quills and materials and the material components of the spell that you have to expend to make the spell work and all that stuff.
What about spells that are class dependent?
You can make scrolls out of them. It's just that only whoever wants to use the scroll would have to be able to cast the spell normally.
Right.
Okay.
I would
That's what I
say
thought.
Basically, Naya, if you found a fireball scroll, I don't think druids can cast fireball, so you wouldn't be able to use it.
There's like one circle that can, I think, but that's like a rare sort of thing. Yeah, I would imagine.
Does that count?
I think
it has to be on your class spell list specifically.
Yeah, it would have to be
Yeah.
like a circle of whatever that has the fireball on their spell list.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is one, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm not going to look it up. And then, just in general, my expectation would be healing and restoration spells are just like 100% slam dunk sale. People always need healing.
Oh yeah, because like especially if you guys happened to get to the point where you could like produce Revivify out as a scroll, that's like sell that to a church. That's one whole free resurrection they got. I mean, they spent the money. They don't have to have the diamonds on hand. You can keep a scroll in your pocket.
Though I think the diamond gets consumed in the.
It would.
So they wouldn't have to have the diamond. We'd still have to have a diamond.
Yeah, you would have to actually cast the spell fully. Yeah.
And what materials does this cost me in order to produce this?
Nothing.
Besides
That's what the
time.
500 gold is.
Time and money and Nimbus is.
Well, I don't have 500 gold. That's
I got
for sure.
500 gold. I'm the one contributing. This is all coming out of the Nimbus
Nimbus jar
grant and
yeah.
Fund.
Okay, and so then the next question is, does it have to be level 3? I only have 4 spells prepared for level 3, and none of them are probably real tasty.
Honestly,
but level 1 or level 2, good.
I don't know. You've got like a water breathing or water walk. I'm sure those sell too.
Yeah, but you have to be of a specific kind of thing in order to be able to use it.
I think water breathing and water walk are pretty open. That a lot of classes use them.
Yeah, let me take a look.
I mean, if I can do healing spirit, that's level 2, and probably everybody would want that.
Yeah, so a level 2 spell, you'd actually that might even be a little bit more efficient. It's 3 days to do a level 2. You guys have 6 days, so if you just wanted to use all 6 of your downtime days to
water
do that.
breathing's both a wizard and sorcerer spell.
Yeah,
for what it's worth.
So
druid, ranger, sorcerer, wizard. So yeah, a lot of people can use water breathing.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good buy right there.
But yeah, healing spirit is good too. Although
that's what I was looking at. Was healing spirit guidance is a cantrip for crying out loud.
Is healing spirit not in the? Oh, it's not because it's a fucking
healing spirit. I mean, with 6 days, you could use 500 and make 2 healing spirits.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna.
That's what I was thinking. But I mean, it's like even if I did a level 1, I could do speak with animals, which might really appeal to somebody. But I've got 2 or 3 healing spells at level 1. You know, they're not as powerful as
the
healing
thing is,
spirit. But
scrolls in this edition are only of the lowest level they can be cast. So I can't make like a level 3 version of a level 1 spell, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It's only ever going to be the level 1 version.
But just to get to the like actual sale of the thing, The way we do selling the scrolls is you do an Arcana check basically to see conceptually like how well you did at making the scroll, how reliable / volatile is it? Does somebody want to buy this thing? And then you make a persuasion check to kind of represent a similar sort of thing, like you making this thing presentable and making it getting it to the right people who want to actually buy it, even if that's just you giving it off, handing it off to Mercutio and saying, "Here, I made this. See if you find a buyer."
Okay.
Ooh, those are a bit
Yeah,
rough.
they are. So
So that's going to be a 19 total. So that's actually going to put you in the 2 to 20 range. So Nimbus, for your 500, you are selling it for, let's see, so
that's only gonna be 900.
90%. 90% of the sale price.
Ew.
Yeah. Okay. 900. Yeah. Instead of 1,000.
Yeah, it's fine. Sometimes I hit big, sometimes I hit small. It's no big deal. They're all
Yep.
plus. Every
Right.
time I do it, it's plus.
Yeah.
and that's the
You
part that
can't
matters.
lose money doing it.
It is
That
the
would be
safest bet.
unfortunate.
All right, so that will bring this up to 1639.
All right. So we need an Arcana check and a Persuasion check.
Yeah, and I just to confirm, you're either doing are you doing 2 second levels or 1 third level or something else?
Well, I'm thinking I'm going to do 2 second levels,
Okay, sounds good.
2 healing spirits.
Okay, so yeah, regardless of number of scrolls, it's just 1 check. So yeah, Arcana then Persuasion, and we add them up. Ooh, okay. So same for
Which is
you.
right.
So you got a 14. So your result is going to be so scrolls sell for double the crafting price. So you're going to get 50 plus 1d10% of the total sale price as a result. So roll a d10, and we'll add that to 50. Or I guess roll a d100 tens, and we'll add that to 50, basically.
Wait, what? Roll
roll
1d10 or
Yeah,
1d100?
roll 1d10. 1d10,
Okay.
please. Okay,
Hey.
that's good.
Came out over average.
Hang on, did I do that right? That might be. Okay,
Is your
I'm not
math
going to
off?
change it now.
But now you realize what you did.
I think I meant to make that 1d5. So okay, 130%. That's fine. So you make that's just 1,300 gold, right?
Mm-hmm. So
Do I need to take anything out of my
Yeah,
inventory to say that I just made those 2 scrolls?
You don't need to take anything out of your inventory, but I think you had to. Nimbus needed a little bit of extra cash.
I'm just taking the 500 back, and then I would ask that you kindly contribute some to the fort and use some for your own personal upgrades and accessories and whatnot.
Well, okay, so what did we get after the 500 is gone?
Well, I mean, Nimbus, you had a certain amount before that profit, and it was not quite because let me see, it was you had over 1,000, right?
Yeah,
You had like 1,246.
I actually it was 1239, so somebody actually put in 11, but it's a
Okay.
moot point. It's not. It's pennies compared to the.
Agreed. Yeah, we'll still just have to make sure. So either Naya or Montlarn,
Yeah.
one of you guys has to spend 11
Yeah.
gold.
That's cool. I had already deducted 6 from when you had asked for it earlier, so I'll just do the rest.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, the Naya, you don't have to deduct anything.
Okay.
Yeah, if you would like to take your 800 gold of profit, you can put that in your inventory, and then you and Nimbus can decide how you're going to move that around.
Yep. If you want to contribute that, the big fort, the small fort, repairing the temple, getting yourself some fancy boots or fancy cloak or fancy equipment or
I don't even think about gear, to be honest.
a nice staff.
Excuse me, I never do. Sorry. Who do we give it to in Orvis if we want to make a contribution?
All funds go to Mercutio, who manages the supply lines.
Okay, well, I'm fine giving him all but 50.
Okay, so you'll give him 750, and you will keep 50 gold of your own for your for your work.
And
all right, sounds
of
good.
That, are you splitting it to the big camp, to the small camp, to?
Yeah, so we've got it split up between Major Fort and Minor Fort upgrades. So Major Fort is currently at level 4. Minor Fort is currently at level 3.
And minor forts, that's keep Silex, keep Ignis, and is that also going to include the
that'll
temple?
include the temple, yeah.
Okay.
And if you guys put an obelisk there, it'll include the ocean fort.
Okay. Cool. So remind me, what's leveling from 3 to 4 going to do with those? Just getting them on the same facility level as
it will it will get them to the same facility level, and I still would like to work on like a alternative buff system for the minor forts. That would make sense, and I'm thinking about how that would work.
Sorry, I'm kind of dumb on this. I feel like I have a bazillion unable to verbalize questions about what this is and how this works and all that shit.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of winging it, and we do not need to go into it right now to spend the time. But I really don't have a clue, and so just whatever.
Okay. I just want to clarify real fast for you. At some point, we consolidated instead of investing in each and every different service, like just investing in the armorsmith or just investing in the barracks. It was consolidated to blanket upgrades across the board for 2 different sets of forts. The major forts, those being Maricus and Orvis, and then the minor forts, that Silas, Ignis, gonna be the one on the coast, and the temple. And what's a major versus a minor one is the major ones are the large infrastructure, the large trade hubs, the large places where we do our logistics and deployment, versus the minor ones. They're important. They're places we need along the way for our supply line and stuff, but they aren't the ones that were like building up to be these, big defensible launch points where we're going to be able to house an army or whatever we need to.
Exactly.
So we can
and yeah, plus all the shops that you guys are using every now and then, those are based off of the level of the fort.
So if your goal is better shops overall, it would be putting it in the major forts. If it's getting the minor forts on the same level as the major forts, it'd be the minor forts. That's that would get them. What is that? 850. 950 away. 1050.
Which one? Sorry.
Oh, the minor forts.
Yeah.
If it went into those.
Yeah.
And then the
if you want my advice, major fort's a pretty good investment because it could help you guys get armor and weapons and all sorts of that stuff.
That makes sense.
I assume Montlaran wants plate at some point.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm already fucking slow as hell anyway.
I do have an NPC who has a move speed of like 15.
Hey, speaking of crafting scrolls, I have a question for you.
Sure.
You had said earlier that it depended on what you had prepared. Do I have time to prepare different spells, or am I literally limited to what's prepared right now?
I had that question earlier.
We can say if you're gonna switch your prepared spells by the next Redshift break, then you can use the one that you will be prepared.
Okay, cool. That's what I'm gonna do then.
Okay, cool.
And I'll roll whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, I'm gonna make 2 locate object scrolls.
Okay, did we have enough for 1 second level or 2 second levels? Because I think after.
Oh, that's a good question.
I only
I
had
think we
enough
just had
for
enough for 1.
1 second level, but if between you and whomever else there is another 250 laying around, you could probably do a second.
I have 194.
Oh. Well, that's not too bad then. If I don't know if we could scrounge up the rest, or otherwise, we could probably do level 1 scrolls if you wanted to fill out the other 2 days.
No, that's cool. I'll just do the 1. That's fine.
Okay, it's a good idea.
Yeah, that works.
Gives you some time to do some other stuff during the downtime.
All right, yeah. So give me an Arcana, give me a Persuasion. Tell me what spell you're doing and how you make your scroll.
All right, I'm going to use a locate object as the spell,
Nice.
and I'm actually I'm going to do it by weaving branches. Since a forked twig is one of the components of the spell, I'm going to do it by basically making a very small circlet of braided branches that create the sort of shape in the weave of the spell.
Oh, nice.
And then you would use it by breaking that pattern, basically. And you said Arcana and then Persuasion, right?
Yep. Well, Lauren's good at one of those, right?
Yeah, not the first one, though.
Okay. So that is 32, which is good enough. 100% of the sale price. Yeah, I definitely did the first one wrong. You're not supposed to get more than 100% on the fail.
Well, I figured
Lauren,
that was an added component of like, well, even though you got suck rolls, we'll give you a chance. You could maybe suck harder or less hard.
Yeah, but it's a 50% chance to get better results than if you do well. So no, I messed up, and
that's fine.
Also didn't realize that I could. It was supposed to be maximum of 130% for 41 plus.
Right.
So I'll fix that now. So it should be 1d5% for the first one and 1d3% of the other one. There we go. Okay, that's better. Again, I won't make you guys fix that today because whatever. So Montlarin, you get 250 gold of profit from that. So that means Nimbus needs to spend that 250 he had. So Nimbus, you should have. So what was it? You made 900. So you
basically counted that I broke even from all of them plus my own personal pocketing of 400 from my own sale.
200 to major. Yeah, I just want to double check that we've got the numbers all right. So
basically, I was at 1239 and now I'm at 1639.
Okay, so you were at 1239. Montlarin spotted you 11. So we'll just call you at 1250. You spent 500 of that. You gained. Well, you spent another 500 on Naya. You gained 800 or 900. Sorry, right?
I got 900 from mine.
Okay, so.
And did you get your 500 back on mine?
I should have gotten 500 back from you.
Okay, so Naya, you gave him the that's right, because you gave him the break even point. Okay. So plus 500 again.
Oh, my apologies. I thought that was already taken out of the amount that went to the forts.
Oh no, you got 800, I got 500, so that was the total 1300.
Yeah, but I thought that the 500 back to you had already come out of it. So, because 1300 was being banded about, and so I got confused on that.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we'll do the math out one at a time. So starting over, you had 1250. Nimbus, you spent 500.
Yes.
Then you got 900.
Yes.
Okay. Then you spent 500 on Naya. Then you got 500 back from Naya. Naya kept her 800.
Yes.
Naya, you dunked your 800 into the fort?
750 of it.
Or 750?
And I kept 50.
Okay. So that's going to be 950 to major forts, it sounds like. So I'll write that down. So then Nimbus, I believe you're correct. I have you at 1650. If you paid back Mont Lauren, then you're at 1639.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Great. Math. All right then. So that's gonna cover all of your guys' downtime until the next break in the Redshift, except for one more day for Nimbus.
Yep, and that's the one that I'd be spending going over the map with Dex and Elvis Diver. And while talking with Dex about that, I would want to be asking him, well, look, I've got kind of a big problem that I've been running into here. It seems like more and more we're going to be seeing creatures that are resistant or completely immune to the magics that I have, and I have a feeling you've been in similar situations. What do you do in those cases? Do you carry a crossbow or something? What's your solution?
Well, I admit I'm not often a fighter. I've done my share of small time adventuring, but in my case, I'm an abjurer. If I find something that I can't, say, throw a lightning bolt at, I try to focus more on protecting the people I'm working with. If I've never had a situation, fortunately, where I've been stuck fighting solo against something that is immune to my magics. But if you're talking about something that is a say some of those fiery fellows that we fought a while back,
Or the
and
sludge seemed to resist most of what I was throwing at it.
Did it? I suppose some things do have a affinity for a variety of elements.
I suppose the flame skull was fairly resistant to most of my magics as well, except in that last barrage where we ambushed it.
My advice for any up-and-coming wizard who is looking for combat tips is stay versatile. If something doesn't work, have something else ready in the wings that you can try instead. Obviously, easier said than done. It's a lot of work and a lot of study to get to the point where you have a spell book full of tools, but
before the day
you have magic missile, right?
Yeah, I do, but if something is truly resistant or even immune to magic, then I have an idea, actually. It might be a little awkward, but I think a sort of metal, not a sphere, not a half sphere, but like a half sphere with a kind of a canister shape attached to it, a cylinder, that I might be able to kind of put it over my hand and fire a blast of water with my bracelet and just basically use it as a water cannon.
So you mean a something that would act as a funnel, basically?
No, something that it would launch. That would be a projectile.
Oh, I understand.
That the propulsion of water coming from behind it would be enough to launch it with great force towards a target.
Well, you might get something out of that. You could possibly. Um, I I've seen how that geyser works. You could possibly manage a hammer blow out of something like that. Um,
I'll work with Smithy and see. He's probably actually got a better idea of how to do something like that.
Worth a try.
Yeah, it's better than being caught with no means of attack. And as much as I like crossbows and I'm fairly adept with them, uh, it's just a lot to be carrying around. Just a couple of chunks of metal I can launch would probably be much more useful. Possibly attach a chain to it, so after I've fired it, I can kind of retract it. Yeah, we'll see. It'll take some working. I don't think it'll be this downtime. I would imagine the Redshift's going to give way here pretty soon.
Oh, I hope so. Getting restless up here.
Completely understandable. I hope you've at least been able to get some good conversations while the resident spirit of the temple there has time being awake. Speaking of, have they been awake at all during the Redshift? Have they?
Would you believe? No. In fact, it was. Well, I did holler quite a bit when I first arrived, trying to get its attention. Um, Nice enough fellow, but he doesn't seem to rouse for much. I I I figure I might as well not bother him.
Gotcha. That's probably a good idea. All right. Well, is there anything else then? I suppose trying to track down the coordinates on this map is the big deal.
Right. So you don't even need to make a check for that. Um, Essentially, what you are able to figure out with Dex's previous research um, and taking a look at the numbers that you have is that the location of Orvis itself is like 43.7 to 43.7 north to like 12.2 east. And taking into account the globe and doing some math, um, you can figure out with Dex's help over the course of maybe just an hour of messing around uh, that the spot that is defined by that stone, assuming longitude latitude, is right around here. or should be.
I kind of zoomed out.
Do you see a blue star that I drew?
No.
Oh, I do. It's
Fine.
north of the temple.
Oh. Let me.
It's like
Oh,
it's
there
like
it is.
6 hexes north of there. Yeah.
Hmm. Gosh, that would
He
be-
says, "Wow, that's pretty nearby, actually."
It's something that I think we could probably check out, but we would have to have it cleared with Maisie and the lizards if they would be fine parking up by the temple there.
That's that will not be a problem. Even with the lizards, like if you bring them up there and just like saddle them and up and like tie them up around the temple or let them inside, they'll stick around for a couple of days. They're not gonna abandon you guys out of nowhere.
It appears that it would take the better part of 4, maybe even 5 days to get there.
Yes, it is a. Dex says it is a decent hike up here. If you're planning on making the trip, you might have to go cross 2 redshifts, but the obelisk up here is perfectly safe. All is in order. You guys have, we have the communication set up, obviously. So, that is what it's for.
Seems doable.
And yeah, so let's see if you did 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so you'd get there in a little over 3 days, basically.
Why not explore the unexplored portions of the map? We should go straight north from Vestbridge, build a tower, open up those other hexagons,
Yeah, that would be
and then go left.
reasonable. Yeah, because like if the first wave starts, you could just like scoot right over there from wherever.
Oh, it just irks my OCD, and that's out of character. Naya doesn't have OCD.
Well, I mean, maybe she does though. Maybe she like looks at the maps that you people are building, and she's just like, "Oh,
We
you went
need to
around."
open that up. Oh my god, it's killing me.
For the record, though, it will get done within like the next 1 or 2 redshifts if you guys don't go there. Now that people are up living in that temple, they will go that way. So, if you guys want to go there, that's fine. If you'd rather go fast somewhere else, that's also fine.
I'm fine just going straight there, though I would say for a journey where we know we're going to need rations to
I
make
guess
sure
if
we
you go
get through.
go that way,
Yeah.
you'd at least pass through one of the hexes.
Mhm.
And
Well,
then
I mean the star is offset to the right by 1, so there's no reason why we can't just cut right through the 4.
oh, you mean go all the way up to the location immediately?
Yeah, just to do it in
I
one
see.
shot.
Got it.
Because we always have the house of worship we can go back to, so
Yep.
it'll take
Yep,
most
that's
of the time
viable.
to get up there. We investigate and then first wave it back.
Well, remember too that like we did when we first went out 2 sessions ago, we used water walking and the speed boost, And we were able to make much better time that way.
Well, again, yeah, you guys have the lizards, so as long as you're riding them, you've got normal speed through the swamp, and you can always. I think you can make that like 1 hex per day faster by pushing hard, or maybe it would be a little bit more. I'd have to double check.
Well, here's the
Okay.
question: is it just going to be the three of us going out? Because if so, or is Embergreen
That's
still
easier.
on the way back?
I haven't heard from him, so
Okay.
Yeah, last I heard he was waiting to pick up his girlfriend at the airport. So
Oh, okay.
worst comes to worst, whoever joins next week comes up behind you,
Yeah. Sounds good.
leaves an hour after you did.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, we would potentially go faster if we hit grass somewhere along the way. If we go with the water walk and horses trick, because we only need to make 2 and not 3, we'd actually have a lot less downtime. It'd only be 22 minutes every 44 minutes, or every 48 minutes rather.
And then in terms of rations, they have supplies over at the temple, so it would probably work out that you want to stop over there to restock anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, you'd be able to get enough to get there, and then you could restock there, and then you could run back out. And if you had 5 days, that'll work out.
So 8 hours going at normal speed using the chart, that's 50.6 miles a day. That's
8 hours at
8 hours at normal speed.
Right. Well, keep in mind everything up here is half speed if you're not using the lizards.
Well, we've got water walk, so that reverses the half speed.
Does that account for having to stop and cast it every so often?
It's
Yeah,
a ritual,
this is.
so I have to cast it, and I have
Yeah.
to spend 10 minutes,
Yeah.
every hour.
I have to every 22 minutes I'm casting, every 38 minutes we're riding, and during that 22 minutes of casting, we can get the water walk in.
I see. Okay. So
But I can
then-
only do the water walk twice. So I can do it once there, and
well,
then
yeah.
once
If
back,
you do a ritual,
or
then
twice there and none back. So yeah. Well, I only have the 2 spells for level 3 spell. I mean the 2 slots.
well, rituals don't use spell slots. That's why you do it that way, actually.
yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here I've been marking those off.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh.
That's why you use the ritual, otherwise you just cast it instantly.
Oh shit.
Okay. So you had more spells than you thought. Okay.
How long have I been doing this now? A couple of years, and I'm still a noob.
It's fine. It's it's one of those things where if we were like super rulesy and pedantic, it would probably come up and we would have caught it by now. But it's been a little more casual.
No, it's just been one of those where if I use water walk or water breathing, I'm marking them used on my spell slot.
Ah.
My bad.
All good. Now you know.
Yes, but will it stick?
All right. There is one rules lawyer I have to add to this for your
Okay.
math. I think you need to be able to see the Phantom Steed while Water Walk is being cast. So it can't be cast at the same time that Phantom Steed is being cast.
It has to be consecutive or something?
Right. It's one after the other.
Yeah, you
That's it.
so,
Aren't you only summoning one Phantom Steed?
No, it's 2 because we both need our own individual. They're magically designed to fit one user.
Got it.
In fact, here I'll click it.
Well, the alternative would be... no, I can't. I was thinking that Naya could wild shape into something, But she can't then
Yeah, that
cast
only
water
lasts
walk.
for a couple hours.
Yeah, but she can't cast when she does
Yeah,
that.
she also can't cast while she's in it.
Yeah, it just doesn't last long enough. Okay, so
So it feels like taking the lizards is still the right answer, then.
well, let me just adjust the math real quick. It's 36 miles a day then if we take a 33-minute break.
So 36 miles is...
That's still 6x's, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's still faster.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, because they're light ass horses. They're phantom steeds.
Yeah,
Charge.
totally.
we could ride them heavy and they wouldn't get exhausted, but I think we would.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's cool. Then we'll use that solution. That way, if we transition to grass, we aren't having to leave our lizards behind or make them come to less squishy and less comfortable ground.
Okay.
All right.
So you guys can slam your long rest button, stock up on 3 days of rations,
Okie dokie.
and ready to go as soon as you all feel like you're ready.
Oh, can you adjust the weight of the marks category to 0 by any chance? Because I am totally not carrying 16 pounds of marks on me.
Go ahead and
That is some heavy currency.
just I mean, yeah, but I don't know how much does
I'm physically not bringing scraps of
$1,600 bills.
Yeah, no, I'm leaving them.
Just
there's
there's
a bank accountant or something, or a Foot Locker.
As an alternative,
can,
as an alternative to that, is there a safe?
You guys have like personal chests,
yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah, but are they safe?
Anybody who would be caught stealing from other agents in the commission would be very harshly dealt with by the brigadier.
Okay, so I can leave most of my gold and marks in a chest somewhere and not have to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah, if you come back and all your shit is gone and you're like, Lucent, what the fuck? She will probably kill somebody before the end of the week.
Yeah. Oil. How much for 3 vials of oil?
Oil is, let's find out. Also, yeah, my recommendation is just like make a note on your character sheet somewhere that says how many you have like in your house.
Well, I think it's interesting because it says my 252 marks have a weight of 3 pounds, and Mount Lauren is saying 453 marks is 1 pound. So something's off.
Oh, to be clear, I was answering Sir's question of what is a dollar bill weigh? Yeah, it turns out it's about a gram. So about 454 marks.
Where is this oil flask? No, oil.
It is very heavy carrying this tent. She is always encumbered, and she is very close to being heavily encumbered.
You know what? Where it comes to the tent, the way I've just kind of been playing it is whenever we start combat, I'm just, my first free action is shed the backpack. So that's usually been the case, and I haven't used tensors in a while. We haven't had to haul that much back in a bit.
Right. But I mean, she's carrying 114 pounds. So she is almost heavily encumbered.
Good
She's backed up.
Yeah, I'm carrying 117 pounds worth of shit myself.
Right. And that has a lot to do with backpack, bedroll, and tent.
You do have 2 ropes as well.
I mean, her armor is 51 pounds.
Yeah, most of my weight's armor as well.
By the way, flask of oil, 1 silver each.
Okay.
So 1/10 of a mark. If you want to, like, if you wanted to just buy 10 with 1 mark, you could leave some and have them for later.
And then the other thing I was thinking about was, let's see, a bag of ball bearing weighs 2. How much does a bag of ball bearings cost?
Ball bearings are bag of 1,000 is 1 gold.
Okay. Could hmm. I don't need a whole 1,000 bag of ball bearings. I probably need a few larger chunks of metal, actually.
Yeah, ball bearings are small.
Yeah. Could I get a couple hollow half-pound spheres of whatever dense metal is available for the rest of the 7 silver?
You'd probably have to commission Smithy to whip them up.
Okay.
Over a day or so.
Okay. Well then, I guess I'll throw. How much is it going to cost for? I'll actually work on the better design when I get back.
Okay.
And a glass ball is expensive, isn't it?
A glass ball.
Mm-hmm.
I would put that in. I would consider that probably just use the price of an orb from the Arcane Focus, which is 20 gold.
Nope. No. Okay. Yeah, I'll just get the oils, and I'll remember that I've got 8.7. Sorry. How much are rations?
Rations are, I think, 2 silver a piece.
Oh.
So if you want to like buy extras for the road, they're 5 piece, 5 for 1 day.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to buy extras, you can do that. It's just that you get your 3 for free for stocking up.
Okay, then 2, 7. So I'm at 1367.2 marks. Actually, I had a lingering silver coin. I'll just turn that to a part of a mark. 0.3. 1637.3 marks. It's below the tracking stone coordinates in my character sheet, the miscellaneous notes. And that makes me much lighter.
Splint armor. Let me double check. I haven't looked at the armor page in a little while.
So, I suppose the main things that I'm carrying in my backpack are the bedroll, the water skin, the tent, the empty water skin, and the
Montlarin, Splint is going to require base level 7.
Okay, that's what I was.
That's what I thought. If we're sticking with the rules.
Yep, that's what I wanted. Thanks, man.
Sure. I'm still not 100% certain those are the best rules, but we've been using them.
Yeah, because the one thing I had thought about with those is it really, really limits our heavy plate users because they're going to be the ones that are last to get their max defense.
Yeah.
Versus, like, I don't use any armor except for mage armor, and it puts me at a nice, what was that, 17? Which, could be better.
Yeah, I actually have a couple of ways to up my AC when I need it too. So it's not like I'm really in desperate need of new armor. I was more like, oh yeah, I can afford gear.
Yeah, but yeah, shield and divine shield.
Yeah, exactly.
You got stuff. I've got less. I've got mirror image, and that helps. I thought I had.
Yeah, that's handy,
I'll have
actually.
to get blur from somebody at some point. Mirror image and blur is like the combo, or I just need to get a cloak with the blur built in. That
Nice,
costs
yeah, totally.
thousands of gold. All right, so I think we're ready to ride then.
Hell yeah.
All right then. In that case, so I am probably going to cut us off a little bit early tonight because I have to catch a train tomorrow. So I'll just say we won't roll for random encounters for now.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
And you guys can go ahead. So let's see. So we were going to go. It was 6 hexes a day,
One,
right?
2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
All right.
And then
Okay.
and then it'd be 1 going through
Going
the
that way.
territory here. 2,
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6. Unless of course we ran into a lake.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So that is 2 days down. Just make sure you guys spend your rations that you picked up.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So then 1, 2, 3.
Okay, stop there.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Grass! Solid ground!
All right.
You
Well,
found
that's
it.
gonna make things go a little faster.
So you are you guys have been traveling at high speed for 2 days, just
Not
riding
high
and
speed, but normal speed. A good
riding
speed.
and casting. Yeah, it's you're still on horses that are going pretty fast.
Yeah, it was a rigorous day.
Rigorous couple of days. You ride, you break for camp, you ride again, break for camp, kind of a little close to the temple, and then finally on your 3rd day of travel, you break out of the swamplands onto flat, relatively flat, dry, yellowed, early winter grass.
Okay, so have we used 2 rations?
Yeah, you're at the start of your 3rd day. It is about noon. And for the past maybe hour, actually, can everybody roll a perception check?
Sure.
Everybody who's not currently casting a spell.
I would say also, as we've been going along, I've probably been looking at the stone to see if the coordinates change at all.
Oh yeah. If you've been doing that, it has not changed at all. Okay. One more perception roll. Nimbus,
What was that?
got a perception roll.
Oh, I thought you said everyone that wasn't casting a spell.
Oh well, I don't think you're casting it on the horse anyway. So
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I wasn't sure if this was at a pause point or not here.
okay. So Naya, as you've been traveling the past hour or so, um, uh, you've noticed like a kind of consistent um, thumping noise. You can't quite place what it is, but after like maybe 20 minutes, you think to yourself like, yes, that is definitely a real noise that I'm hearing. That's not just the horse that I'm riding.
Question.
Yes.
Do we have this location stone with us?
Yeah. Nimbus has it.
And the direction of this sound that I'm hearing, is it coming from Nimbus?
No. No,
Does it have
definitely
a direction? Can
not.
I sense like where it's coming from, the location?
If you like stop your horse for a second, you'd be able
Yeah.
to kind of pinpoint. Yeah, so you pull back on the the mystical reins that come with this horse and just stop and take a look and listen around. And to your east, you see the shape of a man.
Shape of a what?
A man.
Okay.
Humanoid. Um, and squinting a little bit, like if you look closely, and I'll give this to you with this perception roll, you see that there is another humanoid who is much, much smaller than this humanoid sitting on that one's shoulder.
Uh-huh. This looks familiar. How far away are they, sir? Can you ping it on the map or something so I have some ballpark?
Well, you're looking at it, and it's really hard to tell because the fact that there is a very tiny humanoid on this person's shoulder, like
Right. And she's got to squint to see it.
it would be like Ruby sitting on your shoulder.
Right.
Like that's kind of throwing you off with how far away this person is.
Okay.
But you realize that the thump that you're hearing coincides with the larger person's footsteps as they're moving.
Oh,
How large is that humanoid? I mean, that's why I'm asking if you could ping it, because if we're talking about it's almost to the mountains, that's an incredibly large humanoid to make that thump.
Can you give me another perception check? We'll see if
Yeah.
Naya can kind of figure this out. It occurs to you that the person who is walking is probably about 2,000 feet away.
That's about half a hex, right?
That's a little less than half a mile, which is like a 1/12 of a hex.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah.
And by that measure, this person is about 3 stories tall.
Right. Okay. All right, so yo, everybody. Just FYI, we have somebody who is essentially a giant, based on compared to us, off to the east. They also have some kind of a familiar or something, I think, on their shoulder. And that is that thumping noise that I can hear. I don't know if either of you can hear it.
As you've pointed this out to the other two, you can clearly indicate this person.
Okay, so the
there.
thumping seems to be coordinated with the giant's footsteps.
So you see the giant put their hand over their eyes like they're looking
Okay.
at something, and
In our direction.
they are walking generally in your direction, yeah.
Okay.
And so they stop for a second. They kind of you see them kind of like look, and then you see like a actually, can you give me an insight check, because this is like a piece of body language that Naya might or might not notice.
Bummer.
Yeah, so you see him like wave his hands a little bit, and then he breaks out into a gentle jog.
I mean, I would love it if it was somebody friendly, but we don't know that from here, and they're half a hex away. So heads
a
up.
1/12 of a hex away, and
right.
less.
Yeah, a 1/12 of a hex away. Thank you. But as a giant, they would close fast. And if they're heading for us, we kind of need to be prepared for I don't know what, because I can't tell if they're friendly or not. But it's a giant.
Does it seem like we have any chance of outrunning it?
I don't know that we want to, honestly.
Not that we're necessarily making that decision, but like if we tried to, or would we run out of horsepower and then just kind of be stuck?
Well, I mean, that would depend on the endurance of this creature for sure. I think at like top speed, you could probably outrun for a little while on these horses, but then you've got like a half hour of sitting down, basically.
Right.
So if you can outrun a large person in a half hour, then sure, maybe. And I'm just gonna roll a d30 to see how far along into your existing half hour you guys already are. So you've got like 25 minutes left on this. You just finished casting a short while ago.
Well, I mean, there's just as good a chance that this is from the same lineage of giants that allegedly attacked the Midoro, as it is a friendly entity completely unrelated.
You're suggesting we just ride? I'm willing to try, but what if they follow?
Yeah, they have a lot longer stride than we do.
You're right. Well, I mean, it's pretty flat here. There isn't really a lot of cover up ahead, is there?
You are in an area that is the occasional. It's still like a little bit wet coming out of the swamp. So like the occasional pond, the occasional little like rows of trees along rivers, and what is probably in the summertime great rolling fields of grass.
Okay. All right. Well, if we intend to meet it and don't
Well, fill us in. Fill us in on what you know about the giants and vessels.
um
Why don't you give me a history check on giants in general?
yeah.
I'm asking Nimbus. So, do
I
you want all of us to roll, or
Anybody else can roll if they want to know about giants. Nimbus's info about giants is pretty basic. There's same with Montlarin.
Yeah.
You know, there are various types of giants. There's like hill giants. There's like frost.
okay?
Giants.
Well, that's all I've got is pretty basic.
The
Uh,
best I know is that a giant was allegedly what was spotted on the horizon when the alarm was called at the end of the Midoro games, which had been about somebody who had historically slain a giant and was being celebrated.
Well, yeah. So the event was to celebrate a hero who ousted a giant.
Ousted or slain? I was not quite clear on that actually.
She shamed it and caused it to flee.
Oh.
The whole origin of the festival was she tricked it into competing in a bunch of games with her, with the condition being that whoever lost, eventually coming out to best 5 out of 9, would have to leave the village forever.
Good to know.
But, I mean, in terms
it's
of
like it was
history-
very, very kids like bedtime story.
In terms of history, though, were giants historically aggressive, or were they just another human?
Naya, you know that it varies a lot.
Yes.
But there are certain types of giants who tend to be seen throughout the world as pretty much evil. Like you might know that, like, if anybody ever talks about a hill giant coming into a village, it 98% of the time does not end well. Because hill giants are basically just monsters. But you've also heard of, like, yeah, giants build like civilizations, or they have built civilizations. So there's you don't know a lot about them, but there's like a sliding scale of that sort of thing.
Hill Giants are basically like an 80s movie Bully, just a really big stupid version. It's kind of how I always took
If
it.
you had to guess what kind of giant was ousted by Lariel at Midoro, it was a hill giant.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That's the kind of giant you trick into playing children's games with you to win mayorship of a village. And who throws a tantrum when he loses 5 times in a row. Or 5 times out of 9.
Lovely.
Specifically not in a row. This big guy's getting closer.
Well,
He's had a brisk jog at this point.
So it appears that he intends to intersect with us.
Oh yeah.
So we need a plan, guys. Like we can go. Does anybody speak giant?
I do not.
I think
I don't either.
if we have some means to prepare ourselves to communicate with giant, that would be helpful. I unfortunately don't know that magic quite yet. I could probably
Do we know
understand
what they generally speak? Do they speak like giant, or do they generally speak common?
It's
Dwarvish?
I would say
Sylvan?
it's commonly known that giants have their own language.
Okay.
You aren't sure if that's something that would be something that every giant speaks. This particular giant speaks. Who knows?
Who? How far are they? How far away are they?
Can everybody see him now?
Oh yeah, definitely. Maybe 500 feet or so.
Okay.
I would
Uh,
probably.
He'll close pretty fast. We need to be prepared, and yet I would much prefer that we engage in a parley.
I can at best comprehend languages and try to work from there. See if there's any commonality in anything that I speak.
How much is your? So what's your?
Oh, where the fuck did this thing go? Sorry, I'm looking for I have a nice little map I made for you guys to have this encounter, and I don't know where it went. And Roll20 doesn't let me sort my archived pages, they're just in an alphabetical list. Okay, you know what? Maybe I did not actually put it in the list yet, or maybe I messed up and got it. One moment in that case, I've got to just create a new map real quick. This will take a few seconds. Enabled. Good. Load that up. Why don't I move us over here real quick? Can you guys see anything, or is it all darkness?
It's all white.
Got it.
No, there's some green. There's green in the middle.
Still working on it.
oh, I see it now.
It
Yeah.
just wasn't
Yeah, I scrolled
scaled
up. Now I see
appropriately.
it.
Fine. There we go. Okay, Montlarin will shout ho there. Excellent. Montlarin is here. Naya is here. Nimbus is here. Okay.
I guess I would have probably started casting with roughly 10 minutes or so lag time, so I'd be able to have it cast before it arrives.
Comprehend languages, you mean?
Yeah, as a ritual.
Yeah. So if you guys are stopped here, Montlarin, I guess you'd kind of be organized like that. Nimbus, you'd be able to like just be finishing this up, as this person.
What's the name?
Oh, you guys can see the name?
No, I'm asking. What's the name?
Oh, we'll
What
learn
did you
that
call
soon.
it? Kirsten?
Oh, I said person.
Person. Okay.
Yeah.
Can
So,
we tell at this point what's on its shoulder?
yeah, it is a woman. The giant approaching you, now that he's in view, he is a maybe 15, 20 foot tall man with he wears considering his size, it's surprisingly well made. Like sleek leathers. You'd consider it pretty well made armor, and it's made to fit his size. Um, he doesn't appear to have any weapons on his person. Let me, yeah, and he just he wears a leather vest, which cuts off and shows off his enormous bare forearms and hands. And he stops as soon as he gets near you guys, and he wipes sweat from his brow and takes a breath. And you see where one expects to find hair, his blue skin gives way to what looks like red scales and twisting horns that kind of curve back into points.
Where?
And
On his head?
Upon his head, yes.
Okay.
And as he catches his breath, his full beard, which is, as far as you can tell, somehow made of fire, grows in life and power, as though he's regaining his second wind. His beard itself is reflecting his endurance.
And the woman, is the woman carrying a weapon?
You don't see one on her person.
And what is her size
She
compared
is
to?
she is the size of a human. She has bright orange hair, and you can see that she has two twisting horns as well, that are similar to the giant. And her kind of pale greenish yellow skin, much like the giant, gives way to red scale-like structures around the sides of her face, her neck, and her bare shoulders and upper arms. She wears like a tight suit that has almost a like what look like obsidian rings kind of built into the framing of it. So she's got like a collar and like a breast guard and belt that are kind of all connected, and just look like shiny black something.
So is she like? Does her gear suggest she is the giant's slave, or a bonded slave of some kind?
You wouldn't say she's wearing shackles, and the
Okay.
the way she sits on the giant's shoulder is very familiar. Like as in they seem to have a familiarity.
Right, like casual.
Yeah.
Sure.
So how did it respond?
So does he stop on the other side of that little stream?
Yeah. So as they approach, he gradually just comes to a halt. A thunderous jog turns into a thunderous halt. And so yeah, Lauren, you were the first person to interact with them and said,
"Hello there."
As a point, Badath would probably be out.
Right. Let me get him. Boop.
Right. I mean, I'm likewise on about mounting, but I don't think we need another token for him.
Right.
Yeah, and you're so Montlarin, you're saying you're like I assume you generally always have your shield equipped, although it doesn't take you a full action or a full minute anymore, so maybe not.
Yeah, no, I would still. I mean, I got used to that, so.
Yeah, okay. So shield on, but sword still at the hip, and just
Yeah, waving.
waving up. The giant looks toward the woman, and she stands up on his shoulder, and she says, "Hello. Do you know who you're talking to?"
I don't believe we've been introduced.
No, I don't think we have. We've been looking for you, I think.
Oh God, it's his parents. Oh,
Oh, you.
Big Bro Mario told us all about the rats creeping around here. You
Oh,
can draw your
wow.
weapons if you think it'll help.
Oh, no! I thought the
I figured this
the
was a
fire
Mario
elemental.
thing.
I thought was your child. We sent it back to the elemental plane of fire. No, oh, that's a relief. I'm sorry. Who you said?
She's looking down at you appraisingly as you kind of meander about the fire elemental, and she says, No,
oh, you were the ones with the big metal robot.
Oh yeah, that one in the hills down south. Oh, it just kind of disappeared. We have no idea where that went.
She leans over and she says, Zorimos, I think they're confused.
Say that again.
You know what? I'm going to leave it at that because she's far away and you might not have heard her anyway.
Okay.
She says, she points down at you and says, she shouts, actually, you have the honor of addressing Dragon Princess Nasharala and Dragon Prince Zorimos, and you should kneel when you speak
At that
if
point,
you don't want to die.
Naya steps forward and in Draconic says, and you have the honor of addressing Naya of House and Clan Quillix from the far north. Well met. And because Nimbus and Montlarin have both learned Draconic, they understand what Naya said.
Sure,
Absolutely.
yeah, okay. Then this person will switch to Draconic as well. And she'll say, oh, Quillix. What?
What?
Whose heir are you, then? Should I know them?
I have no idea if you should know them. But they are well known. They are famous and honored in the far north. Amongst the hills of white and cold and silver wind, they are the warriors and the clerics and the paladins for the last 1,000 years. You might have heard of them if you went north.
Well, if you haven't noticed,
What while they're
this
talking,
is
by
not
the way,
north. This is not Yeah.
While they're talking, I would have pulled out the book of sending to the Silver Coast and been writing these names down, and immediately like, big warning, this is family of the one we
The
dealt
giant is, you notice that he's looking directly at you, writing something down in your book.
probably wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to see what I'm.
No, he
Right.
you don't think he can tell what you're writing, but he's got his eye on you specifically as you like go into your bag and pull out your quill.
Right, so I can banter with the Dragon Princess all frickin' day. But yeah, the elemental's going to be
and
watching.
she says, I don't know if you've noticed, but this is not the white snowy north. This is our turf.
Well, glad to meet you.
Wait.
And here we are.
So you're the
We
ones
have
who make
things
that
in
red
common.
cloud. We've been wondering who makes that red cloud happen. How do you do that?
The big one turns his head a little bit and he says, Nasharala, I think they're a little confused about what we're doing here.
I'm still not convinced you're the ones with the robot.
Oh, you know what? No, there was that talking head. We didn't ever meet. I don't know who. I think it was Elvis Dever, and yeah. No, I don't.
I think they're trying to buy time. Do you think they have reinforcements coming?
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
No, well, I don't know. Usually we don't plan for war.
All
Is
right,
this a war planning situation?
Yeah. No. Shut up.
Well, not to mention the fact that we haven't done an encounter check yet. So this is all about trash talking and first meeting. And, whipping it out to see who's got the bigger one. So, like, that's what we're doing.
So, I'm trying to figure it out. Is your family some form of kinfolk of dragon? Are you from the elemental plane of fire? Or some combination of the two? I'm trying to think if I might have heard of your folks before.
Tell you what. If you get on the ground on all fours and put your face in the mud, I'll tell you.
I don't know. That sounds like a bad deal.
Finding I'm having a hard time doing that. In fact, the very thought of that is lifting me up off my feet. I don't think I can really honor that request. I don't think my family would be too happy with me either.
She snorts and says, right, rats. That's what we expect. Okay, well, like I said, you can draw your weapons if you think it'll help.
Well, you came to us. I suppose you were looking for something.
And the giant turns to her. He says, Ashtarala, Father said we were to offer them one chance to leave before we kill.
Oh, you want us to leave like this grass?
He looks at you and he says, I don't think my sister likes it very much if you play dumb.
Okay. Then can you provide us a map of the area that your family has claimed so we can steer clear of it? And if you say the entire world, we're not buying it.
I think you know it as the Redshift zone.
You mean the
Guys
King's
own the
Castle?
Redshift zone?
Yeah,
Wow.
we do.
Since how long?
Been here longer than you have.
Well, sure, I know, but I mean, just for academic sake, we'd love to have, you know, if you could put a year on it, that'd be great.
Before you were born, sweetie.
Yes, clearly.
Well, so like you're princes and princesses, right?
That's right.
Well, I mean, we're basically princes or princesses. I mean, technically, I'm a little further down the line than that, but let's not quibble over the details. You're saying you lay claim to this territory, and we're saying we didn't know that anyone had laid claim to this territory when we arrived. Are you really just willing to go to war with the empire we represent, or perhaps there's room for parley here? I mean, you said you didn't want us to play dumb, so let's stop playing games. Let's talk like royals. And I'm going to pour every fucking thing I know about court into that.
Yeah, can you make a persuasion roll?
Well done.
I'm actually kind of good at that one.
She looks like you can see that she is lost for words for a few moments, and roll insight for me, Montlarn.
All right. I'm not as good at that. Fair warning.
Okay. And the giant looks again at her, and he looks back to you, and he says, "We've laid claim to this place. Our father laid claim to this place a long time ago, and our job is to take from it whatever we can. And that means that anybody who gets in the way of that is not a friend."
Well, that's kind of an aggressive stance.
You know what? Fair enough. Let's
He
say
brushes his beard with his hand and he says, "Yes."
let's say for a moment that we accept everything that you've just said is true. That we accept all of your claims. What would happen if we were to just leave? I mean, surely you realize at this point that we're more than just three folks on some horses. How long would our
Yes,
people have to leave?
we know. No. My sister may come across as pointed, but we mean all of you.
Right. I'm talking about logistics here, details. You can't simply move an army's worth of people, overnight. It takes time. It takes effort. And what about all of the material that we brought with us? We would have to take down all of our improvements to the forts that we've occupied. I mean, after all, that doesn't belong to you.
If you need to leave with speed, you're welcome to abandon all your coin.
Oh,
If
our
not,
coin is all long gone. We work in a paper currency. It's more of a fiat than, you know, an actual in hand sort of coin.
if not, simply not being present the next time one of us crosses the areas that you have taken would be simple enough.
I don't
Perhaps we should.
suppose. Yeah.
No. He says,
The
I mean, you go no further.
right.
Because everything in this land, every treasure and every coin and every scrap is ours for the taking.
It's yours for the taking, certainly, and if it's gone before you get there, obviously it's gone. I mean, less about treasures and more about perhaps the information. But you know, it seems like you folks aren't really looking to negotiate and leverage additional services to help you find more information and more of what you're looking for. I mean, would your family be willing to sell part of the territory to our powers that be, or perhaps permit passage, or is that really not on the table for your family?
There are
think you're
things
wasting
far more
your time,
valuable in
Nimbus.
this land than coin from a kingdom.
Oh, it's more than coin, it's a guarantee, but I suppose that might not matter much to you as well.
A guarantee of what?
Well, it depends on the nature of the contract that's made. That's not for me to negotiate.
I strongly think you're wasting your time at this point, Nimbus. It's very clear that we need to speak to the adults.
You're right. These two don't have the agency to actually make a decision. They're just here to send a message. Gosh,
They're just kids playing with toys.
That's got to be embarrassing just to be, to be that powerful and yet just be messengers. Man.
Well, they aren't used to running into others
No, that's
at
true.
their rank. So, we get it. We got the message. We'll see you around.
Well, we won't be, but yes, we get the message.
Tell your dad we'd love to talk to him.
The giant smiles a little bit. And he says, "Good, then we'll watch you turn around, shall we?"
Yes, I suppose. If we were to send message, what would be the names of the people we're seeking? Your parents, I guess the highest royalty among your living family.
He's asking who actually rules this territory, because it's clearly not you.
The woman says, that would be our father. And if you think you can, if you have something you'd like for us to deliver to him, go ahead and say it.
Oh, I'm not saying now. It could be after we've left that we may want to send a message.
Actually, you know what? You can tell your father that we would very much like to discuss a diplomatic solution to our differences. That we have a lot to offer if he's willing, and if he's not, we'd like to negotiate for an orderly withdrawal.
This is the orderly withdrawal.
Your father will understand the difference between what you've offered us and what actually happens when kingdoms talk. Go deliver the message.
I would like another persuasion roll for that one.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit.
It's been fun, guys.
Actually, if you have more points in intimidation, I would take that too. But
I do not.
okay. So in response, she says, I can give you a piece of advice. Negotiating with my father, you might as well be a steak negotiating with a dog. I mean that literally.
And what's your father's name? What's the name of this dog?
You can call him the Dragon King.
Okay.
He prefers invaders use his proper title.
That's fine. We will keep that in mind. I might have to call my father in for this one. I don't know if he's finished brokering that multiplanar deal, but he might be able to get free from that for a moment.
You should be grateful you've been able to have a conversation. We're letting you go. And after this, you won't have to worry about negotiating with us anymore because you'll be gone.
Speaking as a dragonborn,
Mm-hmm.
not all of us are actually afraid of dragons.
Have you ever met a dragon?
I am one. Hello.
No, I mean a dragon.
Generally not, but usually their kids don't look like you either, so, I'm not quite sure what kind of dragon this is we're talking about. Seems like he's been cursed or something, there's a cursed Dao down in the elemental plane of Earth who, funny story, I'm still trying to figure out his real name and undo a curse upon him. It's a real nasty one, but it's personal to me.
She points at the ground in front of her, like maybe 20 feet in front of the giant's feet, and it starts to boil. She says, I don't think this. I've never really considered, even thought for a second that this could be something somebody would think is a curse. I guess if you're afraid of being extremely powerful, then I can see why you'd. And she like flicks her finger back and forth, and little bubbles and drops of magma sort of hop out of this boiling earth 5 feet in a direction and plop onto the ground, and she just sprinkles boiling rock all over the place with her flicking her wrist around.
Huh. Maybe you're not the one that's cursed then. Well, we'll be taking our leave then. Good luck in finding what you're searching for, though. If your family's
The
been
giant
here
will
for...
take about 3 strides this way, and like position himself in front of where you were going, and he says, "All right then."
Hey, out of curiosity, are they a celestial fiend or undead?
No. They are none of those.
Right on. All right. Well, are we gonna head over to the temple and talk to our buddy Dex there?
Well, we'll figure out where we're going from here. I think the first best thing would be getting away from their immediate vicinity and then figuring out a better path from there.
Yeah, they've already revealed quite a lot. We don't need to
Indeed.
be revealing anything.
Yep. All right. I will.
Don't
wave
worry,
casually.
small dragon. We know.
What did you say, sir?
The giant says, "Don't worry, small dragon. We know about your city."
I'll say back in Ignan, well, hopefully it won't be our city by the time you get there. But just in case it is, maybe you'll give us a chance to speak a more poetic language before casting us off into a fiery abyss, for I rarely get to speak this way.
He roll insight. Actually, give me some of that.
Because I would imagine they know Ignan, but it might not be their favorite.
He is stony
Shit
faced.
roll.
Does not reply to that.
How about her?
She's just looking down her nose at the three of you.
All right.
Well, we're done here.
I'll give them a casual wave and wheel around and trot out of there.
Yep. We got information.
The giant waves a little bit, but the woman does not.
Well, no, she's too full of herself. Princesses don't wave.
And you see them watching you as you travel for some way in that direction. And now's a great time to pause our game and pick up next session.
Okay. Thanks for running the session, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, where did we end up?
We'll start you guys right here. And then next time we'll just pick up and we'll continue onward.
All right.
Wherever you want to go.
Sounds good, man.
Cool. I gotta sleep, so we're not on next week. We'll be on the week after that. So sign up as you wish, and we'll play.
Sounds good.
Thanks, sir. Travel safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Night, everyone.
Good night.
Night, guys.